share a bit of my testimony. And seeing Pastor Dwight tonight, he's old, but he's got a bones of a 16-year-old. Amen. Thank God tonight. God has done big things. God has always done big things in our lives. Yes. I tested God twice in this trip. You know, sometimes when we have a conversation with God, we're so used to praying, but the feeling of having that connection with God is not there. Having that conversation with God. So 2 months in PG, I decided to put God to test. 8 weeks of teaching and a week with a youth conference, a week of teaching and preaching. And I saw God's hands move. Last year I shared about the youth conference in PG when I went. And there was only 90 youth members. This year, when youth started to come in for the youth camp, they were coming in numbers, churches, and some of the churches that I didn't even know they were coming in. The total number of youth that were there for the youth conference this year was 460. But to me, it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough. There was only 2 verses in my mind and in my heart that God placed in my heart when I was in PNG. One was Exodus 33:15. It's when God told Moses to go. And Moses said he will not move unless his presence goes with him. And when I was in PNG, I said, Lord, if you have called me here and I'm here, I will continue with the work unless your presence goes with me. I did a big task in PNG. I teach at the Bible college. I took the first and second years on Genesis, chapter 1 to 11, on creation. And I took 30 students on administration. And when I was in Bible school 3 years, my lecturer for administration was Pastor Philly. And for the lessons that I took, it was a blessing. Because there were some new revelations as well that God showed me when I was teaching. The youth or the students in Bible school, they hardly ate. All they had to eat was sweet potato, kumala. That's all they had. When they wake up in the morning, they do prayer from 5 to 6:30. They get ready. 7 o'clock classes starts, and they don't eat until 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day. They only have a kumala each. And they get water from the creek down below that's flowing down from the mountain. That's all they had. Last year, this year. And I was always thinking in my mind that back at home, our fridge is always full of food. It's been in the fridge for a week. Then we throw them out. Then Sunday we have a big feast. We eat again. It stays in the fridge. We throw them out. But students and youth, young people and old people are struggling in PNG just to have something to eat. And I thank God for taking me all the way there because He used me in places like that. And one thing I want to thank much for to the women cooking every Wednesday for the mission. Through your hard work, students and youth were able to eat every day, morning, lunch, and dinner. We were able to eat. Every morning when I wake up, I go down to town and get bags about 40 dozen of bread. 40 dozen of bread. Just for the students and youth to eat in the morning, eat during lunchtime, and eat in the afternoon. That's throughout the 8 weeks. And through the week, there's always tribal fight that's going on in PNG. Tribal fight. And these are villages fighting against villages. Last year, I preached in a church. This year, that same church was burnt down. The whole village was burnt down. And more than 120 people were killed from that village. Tribal fight. They were shot, they were cut up, and they were spread out on the main road for people to see. And that was just an hour away from us. 2 students, first year and second year students, they come to school. They're all the way from the province starting. It's about 8 hours drive. Just last 2 weeks, Monday, from their village, 16 people were killed. 16 people were killed. That's on a Monday. On Wednesday, 18 women and children were chopped up, were cut up in pieces. It was all over the news. And they were in school crying, hoping that their family wasn't part of those people that were killed. And the killing are going on every day. And you and I are blessed today because God has provided for you and me. We don't have any struggles where you have to worry about people taking your life. On the last week, the last 2 weeks of my stay before the conference, youth members of the church came to clean the school compound and the church. Girls, young women, they came and they were cleaning the garden, the grasses they were cutting, they were cleaning up. Halfway through the cleaning, when we were making breakfast, they had a call, they had to rush home. It's about an hour away. They had to run home because there were trouble fights. 2 villages, their village and another village, just about a half an hour walk from each other. They were fighting. When they ran, for some reason I had in my heart I had to go with them. I called 6 of the students. We have to go with them. Pastor Paul Matewa didn't know that I left. But he's always telling us when there's a trouble fight, you have to stay away. Because people that do killing, they don't care who comes across. But for the care of the youth, because I was taking care of them for the youth spiritually, I ran with them. I told the students, let's go. We were walking an hour to their village. They were telling me, we have to hurry up because they will burn our belongings, they will burn the house down, and they can even kill people. They were worried about their mom, their aunties, their grandmother. They were running. And in their hearts, in their mind, they had to get there and remove everything before danger came through. But when we were walking, God placed in my heart just to say a prayer. I thought to myself, Lord, if I speak to these young people and tell them what you've placed in my heart, you have to prove to me that you will take care of them. I tested God that morning. I said, Lord, if you're going to work, I want to see your hand work as well. So I prayed. I told the girls, we will go down, but first, before we get there, I will pray for you girls. I will pray for your family. I will pray for your village. I will pray for your tribe. I will pray for everyone in your village. We prayed. We walked. The girls were speaking in tongues. I said, Lord, this is your people. Your word says that you will protect them no matter what the consequences are. You will be there for them. Lord, there are people that are trying to destroy the village. They are trying to kill each other. You are the only one that gives life, and you are the only one that will take life. Lord, take over. We got there, young people, young as Abby, Abraham, the boys in the back. They were that young. They sharpened bamboo sticks and they were holding knives. They blocked the road. They were waiting for the other tribes to come for them to start killing. They were taught that way. You protect your tribe, you protect your sisters, you protect your family with your life. And these young people were standing there with bamboo sticks, sharp, and knives that were ready to kill. But for somehow, God crossed their path. I went in there, I spoke to the village council. I spoke a message to them. I said, God brought me here not only to come and teach at the Bible school, but also to reach out to young people. And one thing I shared to them, that it's only God is the only one that takes life. No one else. And when I left, I told the girls, I'll see you guys during the conference. They were saying they were not sure, because tonight, as in that night, they do not know what's going to happen next. In the week of conference, when we started with the conference, I could see the girls sitting in the back. After the conference, I walked up to them. They kept crying. They said, we want to thank you, Pastor Koto. God answered our prayers. Nothing happened to the village. Nothing happened to their tribe. No one got hurt. And the two tribes, they forgave each other. I tested God, and God showed me what He can do. God can do big things in our lives, even if we second guess Him. We always second guess God. But never once He second guessed Himself to give His Son on the cross for you and me. He never thought twice. After the conference, when everything was done, 460 people were fed every day, morning, lunch, and dinner. They had 40 bags, 40,000 of bread every morning. It's because of the support of Punchbowl Food. So I want to thank all the women. Now, thank you for frying, even though you complain every time you cook. Now, sometimes the food is not cooked.
Hallelujah.
Also, the senior pastor of the church, Dad, I want to thank you. A couple of mornings, the night before, there was no food left. And I never called Dad once asking him for money. But all the time when there's no food, every morning when I wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, my phone blinks. My message comes up. The Dad sends some money. Just the right amount to feed the students and the youth on that day. My spiritual eyes were open to see what God can do. Things that I never thought that would happen crossed my path. One verse, the second verse that really moved me. God's always saying that your presence, my presence will always go with you everywhere you go. And one thing that I shared with the youth was coming off Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans for your hope and future. When I walked with those girls into their village, in the tribe, into the lion's den, that verse kept me going, because He said, His word says, my plans for you for the future, and not to harm you. I shared to the youth, 460 youth. After the youth, one of the youth of the churches that came from the town, she sent a message. And she said, Pastor Koto, can you please pray for me? She said she was in a university. She did exam, but she failed. And her parents do not accept failure in their family. Before she went to school, the parents told her, if you fail, you do not come back home. So she was scared of telling her parents that she failed her exam. So I said, Lord, if you can do the same with those people who are struggling in their tribes, you can do the same for her. So I prayed. I said, Lord, I will test you again. I want to see your hand move this very instant. I prayed for the young girl. I said, Lord, her parents has already warned her. If she failed, she's not accepted back in the family. She's very young. I said, Lord, this is your child. You have given her the wisdom and the knowledge. And this is her parents that loves her, but has given her a choice. But you alone give choices. You alone can change things in her life, in her family's life. You know her heart. You know what she's thinking. You know what she's fear of. Move in her life, in her family's life. Just a couple of days later, she sent me a message. Pastor, I want to thank you for your prayer. My parents had told me, no matter what you do, whether you fail or pass, God still has plans for you. This is what her parents told her. Completely different to what her parents told her before. She said, no matter what you do, if you fail or pass, God still has plans for you. Her parents never go to church. Now she's taking them to church. I saw God had to move again. I tested God twice. And God's still showing me that no matter how much you test me, I will still show you my power. And today when we were worshiping, it felt like something was holding me back. It's that same feeling that I had before I left the PNG. No, young people, when they worship in PNG, they do not care who is looking or who is watching or who is talking. They jump, they shout, they praise, they speak in tongues, they lift up flower vases, they run across with their chairs. They can praise. And I was sitting here, I said, Lord, if they can do it, why can't I? If they can do it, why can't you? God has blessed you where you were to where you are now. But yet we forget to give God the glory and the praise. Why? Because we are so distracted with everything that has offered to us today. I just want to encourage you, young people, men, women of God. God has done so much things for you and me. Why cannot we return what God has done for us? But I want to thank God today. Everything that He has done was planned and was structured in a way that I had to go. If He can do it for me, He can do it for you. For your family. God's word says, I have plans for you and me, for us to prosper. Plans that will not harm us, but for the hope and future. Praise the Lord. So I want to give back God the praise, the glory, and the honor.